For the next few hours, nothing exists except for Cleveland high school sports. Because the Quiet Brothers are here. Outlaw.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Quiet Brothers Sports Show. My name is Kevin Hanley. Got my people in the building with me. Got the homie Eli Robinson.
What up?
And to my left, we got a special guest. Gina's in the building.
Hello, hello, hello.
What up, Gina?
What's happening?
Philly Phil is out tonight, so it's going to be me, Eli, and Gina. Got two great guests coming on as well. At 7:15, the head coach of the Eastlake girls basketball team, Eastlake North girls basketball team, Paul Force, will join us. And at 8:15, the homie from the Barbershop on 92.3 The Fan, Garrett Bush, will be joining us as well. So we got Paul Force today at 7:15, Garrett Bush at 8:15. It's going to be on and popping tonight.
So much to look forward to.
Yeah, man. Good show. Good show tonight.
Exciting.
Let me say something. Internet, it ain't that deep, man. That man just got beat up last night. It's not that deep. We can stop with all the, he came out celebrating Black History and all that kind of. No, stop it. He just got beat up last night.
Yeah, you know what Tyson Fury is saying, right?
Yeah.
You like that? You like that?
Because Tyson Fury beat the brakes off Deontay Wilder, and I saw the fight from the opening bell till it was over.
How long did that fight last?
7 rounds. Went 7 rounds.
Man, he held out that long?
In the fourth round, he looked like, honestly, I'm not even going to lie. In the fourth round, Deontay Wilder, like, he just wanted that fight to be over. Like, he wanted to just go home.
He was tired.
That's what he looked like. He was, and it's funny because I got a friend of mine who boxed for a long time.
Yeah.
And he said to me, well, he didn't say to me personally, but he said on Facebook that because he's like, Fury weighed in at 273 pounds.
Uh-huh.
So, number one, he had a 40-pound weight difference on Wilder. Wow. It was Wilder weighed in at 231. Fury weighed in at 273. Fury is 6'9", Wilder is 6'6", I believe.
Mm.
So, pardon me, he said that because Fury was so much heavier, that by the fourth round, Fury would be tired and winded because all the weight he carried.
That wasn't the case. That wasn't the case.
No.
He was probably endurance.
No.
His endurance was there because he's used to carrying that much weight.
Man, listen. Deontay at the end of that, in that fourth round, Deontay Wilder looked like he just wanted to go home. He didn't want no more parts of that fight. He looked like he wanted to just go home.
I mean, it's a payday for him, right?
$25 million. They each got $25 million.
Man, if I could get beat up and still get $25 million,
I don't know,
I'd take
Gina.
that. Well, maybe
I bet
not
you. I bet you his ears hurting right now.
I bet you he can't hear out of his ear.
That man was bleeding a lot out of that ear, out of that left ear.
No amount of money can make up for getting your butt whooped that bad.
Fury caught him with that ear shot, and it went all downhill from there. He was kind of okay, but he wasn't like, I don't know if he was just trying to feel Fury out or whatever the case might be, but when Fury hit him with that ear shot, that was it. It started. You want to talk about a train going off the rails? When Fury hit him with that ear shot,
yeah.
He was.
Well, what
I think he busted his eardrum.
You know what Deontay Wilder, was thinking,
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
No, I think, but I do believe though. I mean, I guess what else can you be after that? But I didn't hear it because the place that I went to, they had turned the volume back up.
Yeah. On
whatever music they were playing. But I believe, from what I understand, Fury he didn't go the Adrian Broner route, talking about, I know I beat him, and everybody in here know I beat him after he got the break speed off.
He said much respect.
Yeah, he was pretty humble.
Good sportsmanship.
That's rare to see.
He was humble in defeat. But look, man, people talking about, he was talking. That's what fighters do. And you got to sell the fight.
They've been fighters been doing that since Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was the
he's a king of trash
he was
talk.
A king. Trash
OG
talk.
of that. The OG of trash talk. Because you got to sell the fight.
And if you don't believe your own hype, ain't nobody gonna care about you.
Exactly. Shout out to Tyson Fury though, man. That man, That honestly, I'm sitting there watching. I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, if Wilder don't knock this dude out, number one, first I'm thinking like Wilder's not making it 12 rounds. He looked defeated. He looked tired. He just wanted to go home. I'm like, he ain't making it 12 rounds.
Let me ask you this: is it a rematch?
Well, there's a rematch clause and so you're going to have Wilder Fury 3.
Okay, now if I was Deontay Wilder, I'd be looking at every single tape and see what actually went wrong.
He needs and I'm no boxing aficionado, but in my opinion, Deontay Wilder needs to find a way to still be able to capitalize on his power, but get more technical.
Right.
Because it seems to me that Deontay Wilder has one punch, that overhand right, right hand. If he land that right hand square, you going down. I don't care who you are. You going down if you land that right hand square. But it seems like that's all he has is that one punch.
He don't play defense?
He plays defense, but as far as really getting in, because he tried to get in on Fury, but they just ended up locking up.
Right.
But he would come in, but Fury had the jab working, and then when his Wilder's corner did him a favor in that 7th round. I know he was mad because you could see when he left the corner, he's asking the trainer, man, why'd you do that?
Right.
Because you was getting your ass beat, Deontay.
Oh,
Sorry, they threw the towel in.
Okay.
Because Fury had him in the corner. And Fury just came straight down the pike, right down the middle with a jab. Bow! Hit him square in the face. And Wilder was just rocked. And then Fury hit him again in the body. And his time man's like, that's it. Throw it in. It was a wrap. It was complete dominance by Tyson Fury. And so Wilder really needs to get a little more technical. Yeah. I don't know who you got to call. You need to call somebody like Sugar Ray Leonard. I don't know who you need to call. But,
offense is just
De La Hoya, Floyd.
I was
don't
about to
know
say
who you need to
Floyd.
call.
I was about to say Floyd.
But he needs to get more technical. He needs to find a way to mesh that power with a little bit of technical skill, and then he be lethal if he can do that. But last night, he had one punch, and that one punch wasn't landing, and Tyson Fury took him apart. So,
and it makes you wonder how hard they studied that tape to be able to figure that out. Because, he was prepared for that. That wasn't just by chance.
I don't want to say that Deontay Wilder didn't take it seriously because he came in great shape. You know what I mean? So he trained his behind off. I don't want to say, but he did say he didn't respect Tyson Fury's power. I probably wouldn't have said that. But I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. But he needed. There is going to be a rematch because he did have a rematch clause.
Okay.
In the contract for this fight. So there will be a rematch. I don't know if Fury's going to fight somebody else first, because now the next logical fight I will believe would be Fury and Anthony Joshua. Yeah. So it would have been Wilder and Joshua had Wilder won, but now it'll probably be Fury and Joshua. And
well, this is Wilder's first loss, isn't it?
Yeah, 42-1.
Yeah.
He was 42-0 before last night.
Wow. I didn't know that.
And man, I'm telling you. That man can punch.
Was he just TKOing people?
Yeah, he's knocking people out, man. That man can punch.
Wow.
And this is a side. You know what I wish they would do as far as boxing?
What's that?
I would actually put it back on like local TV, like ABC, like they used to do.
They make too much money.
Too much money in that pay-per-view.
Yeah.
You can't charge $70, $80, $100 on pay-per-view on ABC. Yeah, that's a lot of money you're missing out on. How many people bought that fight last night? I bet a lot.
Oh, yeah.
The place that I was at, there wasn't a TV in that place that didn't have the fight on. Every single TV. And they probably had 30 TVs in there, and every single one had the fight on.
And that place was packed.
That place was packed.
Probably couldn't even move around.
Exactly.
Wait, what place did you go to last night?
It was a place. Called Jersey's down in Canton.
Oh, okay.
I was down at my sister's house, and I
spent the night down there.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, and I figured they would want to see the fight. I figured they'd be showing it. So I was like, let me go see if they're going to show the fight.
Of course.
So
you go to churches?
I went to churches when I went down there. Yes, I did.
Okay, all right.
I did go to churches.
My man.
I did go to churches. Absolutely.
My man.
So I was looking online.
I forgot to get hot sauce though.
Oh,
and
man.
my sister didn't have any. I was like, well, what kind of house don't have hot sauce? But
my house?
What?
I don't eat hot sauce.
Oh man, you have to change that. Yeah.
Bruh.
You had to change that.
Don't bruh me.
You had to change that.
I got the hot sauce on deck over here, baby.
Keep hot sauce
all
in the house.
yours.
When the marriage is there, keep hot sauce in the house. Okay,
Yes,
you
sir.
said you looking online, Gina. What?
Lord have mercy. Okay, so I was according to the Metro Sports Reporter, Deontay Wilder required stitches in his ear.
I bet he did. He was bleeding heavily out of that right ear, out of that left ear.
Which makes me wonder, how unpleasant was that?
It probably hurt like hell.
Yeah, he had a small cut inside his ear, and they're saying it may have nothing. It affected his equilibrium.
Yeah, because you saw the replay. Tyson Fury caught him flush on the ear, and a man 6'9", 273 punching like that, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt a lot. A small cut. He was bleeding a lot from that ear.
Yeah,
and he was bleeding from his mouth. He was bleeding from his mouth and his ear. Tyson Fury beat him up, man. He straight beat him up. That's it. So maybe Wilder packs on some more pounds for the next fight. I don't know.
He need to.
But he need to get more technical. Maybe work on his footwork some more.
Yeah.
I ain't no Customato, but I'm just saying.
You saw what you saw.
I saw what I saw. And he was slow. He looked uninterested. And by the fourth round, he just wanted this fight to be. He just wanted to go home.
So this is the second time they fought, right?
Second time they fought.
All right. First time did Wilder
first
beat
time
him?
Wilder beat him the first time. I think it was a little controversial, but I don't remember that first fight, to be honest.
I did not know this was a second fight.
This was
I don't know.
It
It seems like heavyweight boxing now is just. I mean, it's only two,
rematches.
Yeah, it's just two competitors, Wilder and Fury, and I mean that's all I know. I mean.
Yeah. Well, Wilder, Fury, Joshua.
Yeah, I mean,
there's the guy that beat the guy that beat Joshua. I can't remember his name now. But he beat Joshua, and I don't remember his name.
But I mean, it's a bunch of like middleweights and featherweights.
Yeah,
man.
I think maybe the middleweights, welterweight is probably the best boxing you'll see from this point on. So I don't know. So coming up in a couple of minutes, Paul Force, the head coach of the Eastlake North Rangers, will be joining us. We'll talk to him. Eastlake North, won the Western Reserve Conference, the WRC, this year. And honestly, no disrespect to them, but I don't think that was much of a surprise to anybody.
No, it wasn't. When you got Abby Carter and Destiny Leo on that team, that's
19-3,
boss.
19-3 overall, 14-0 in the Western Reserve Conference. So it's like, you know what I mean? And when you have somebody like Destiny Leo, when you have somebody like Abby Carter, and Abby Carter's only a junior, so she'll be coming back next year. So when you have that much talent on your roster, and the Western Reserve Conference is,
I wouldn't
for
say
girls basketball, it's not the greatest. No, maybe Brush, and I'm trying to think of who else might be okay in the Western Reserve, but I can't really think of another.
Riverside,
maybe Riverside,
maybe Riverside,
maybe. And then you'd have, just with the other teams that are in that conference, Madison, Chardon, Mayfield, Kinston, and I think that might be it. Oh, Willoughby South. But yeah, with that kind of talent, 19-3 and 14-0, I'm not surprised one bit that they're.
Now the next question is: they get into the playoffs. Do they go state to state?
Well, they got a game coming up on Tuesday.
Okay.
It is a district semifinal against Menor.
Okay.
That's this Tuesday at 7:45. I'd have to go back and look. I don't know. I have to go back and look and see. They had their last game was against South, and it was a sectional tournament game. Now they play against Menor on the 25th. So yeah, I would like to. I would like to think. I don't know how Menor did this year, but I know they're ready. I'm speaking about Eastlake. I know they're ready. That's Coach Force has always got those girls ready. You know what I mean? When you got talent like you have on that roster again, they're going to be ready to go. State's not out of the realm of possibility for them. 19-3.
I would love to see them go to state and win it.
It would be really nice.
Yeah.
It would be really nice to see that. It'd be really nice to see that happen. And I think they can make it happen if they, you get hot at the right time. Basketball is like that, though. You get hot at the right time, and you can really make some things happen. All right, so we are going to go to the phone lines. Joining us right now, great friend of the show. He's the head coach of the Eastlake North girls basketball team. His name is Paul Force, and he joins us right now on the line. Coach Force, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Yes, indeed, sir. Yes, indeed. Thanks for taking time out of your night. We really appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, thanks for everything that you guys do.
Oh, you got it. You got it. Let's get right into it. So, 19-3, as we were just talking about, 14-0 in the Western Reserve Conference. What is your message to the team for this postseason?
Well, we got one this week. We won our sectional final, so we're up to 20-0. But come postseason, we talk about every game, refocusing. Everybody's 0-0. Everybody's just trying to earn the right to be able to come back and practice the next day. So we're just trying to stay in the moment and prepare for every game like it's our Super Bowl.
Now, this is Destiny Leo's last year with you as a coach. How do you go about trying to replace that production for next season? I don't want to get too far ahead, but how do you go about doing that?
I think, I've been around coaching long enough. I don't think she's somebody from a production standpoint that you can replace. I think our team will change a little bit, obviously, without her, but I think we have some nice pieces coming back from this year's team. And our 8th grade class, our incoming freshman class, has a lot of athleticism. And
Nice.
They seem hungry to learn and improve. It's a good group of kids, good families. They get along. They love being in the gym. We seem to have that from grades maybe 6 all the way up through 12 right now, which, I'm blessed to be in that kind of a situation. That's exciting to be there when you got kids and families that want to be there just as much.
Now, let me ask you this, just on the side, Coach, because I was really surprised by it. I know she's already committed to Cleveland State. Were you surprised that she didn't really, I don't know if it was by her choice or not, because I really think she can play at the Tennessees and the UConns and the Stanfords at the next level. Were you surprised that she didn't go that route?
I was not. She did not play AAU the last 2 years. I think she was, comfortable keeping her radius relatively close to home because as far as AAU, it's really just an exposure tool. Destiny's main focus especially this offseason, was her body and her game and her footwork. And I think that's better for you as a player than playing 5, 6, 7 games in a 3 or 4 day weekend, I think that develops you a lot more. So I think her exposure was limited due to the fact that she did not play AAU, but she seemed comfortable with that. And she knows there's areas of her game that she's got to work on and develop. She's incredible on the offensive end, and there's a lot of room for improvement on the defensive end. I think she's made some strides this year, but she knows at the next level that she's got to be more of a two-way player than she is right now.
Did you help her out at all in the recruiting process when it came down to Cleveland State or some other school? Did you have any input on that at all with her?
Yeah, quite a bit. Yeah, I helped her out quite a bit from the time that she was pretty young and started getting looks. And last year we were playing Cleveland Heights at home, and this Cleveland State head coach, who was a first-year coach, he came and watched, and Destiny just took over the last 3 minutes of the game. And he told me after the game, we're down by a point with 8 seconds left, and he's texting all his staff saying, if Destiny Leo gets the ball in her hands, she's going to win this game. And sure enough, she got a rebound on a missed free throw, came down and won the game for us. So right after that, I could tell by the way he talked to me about her after that game, I could tell he was all about her. So I think it's a great place for her. She's close to home. She's got a good support system around here. Don't have to worry about any homesickness. And selfishly, she can get in the gym and work with our guys and work with some of our young kids. And, when you have a girl like her come through the program, it just changes the way that young girls think about basketball. It's like, hey, if Destiny can do that, what can I do, as far as getting to the next level, skill work wise. So, I definitely think she'll still be around Eastlake plenty.
Coach, do you feel any, I guess I should say, additional pressure, being that you guys were undefeated in the conference and you're coming in as the number 1 seed in the playoffs? Do you guys, any additional pressure, at least for you anyway?
No, I do not. I do not at all. I love basketball. I love what we do at North. We do it, the best that we can, and I'm really okay with wherever we end up. I think 200 teams, and there's 64 of them left. Only one of them is going to win their last game. So to me, if we play hard and we love each other and we prepare, the way that we do, then, whatever happens, I'm fine with. Obviously the winning's more fun and you like to see kids with smiles on their faces, but I think the disappointment and the adversity of coming up short, I think there's great lessons in that too. So we're pretty open about talking about that kind of stuff. And when I was younger, coaching wise, I always had like a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear about the next tournament game, and didn't want to lose it. I feel like as I've gone through, I've kind of given up on that a little bit. We're going to do our best, and kids are going to play hard, love each other, and whatever happens, I'm good with that.
Coach Paul Force of the Eastlake North Rangers is our guest. Coach, can you talk about the emphasis that you and your staff put on the academic side when it comes to your players and making sure that they're on point there?
Yeah, we're super fortunate in that aspect. I feel like since 2008, when I first came on at Eastlake North, which has a very rich girls basketball tradition, yep. I feel like we've had great kids from great families, and they've taken care of business in the classroom. And we talked about it early in the year, but honestly, I think it was probably about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago that I said, hey, I probably haven't mentioned this in a while, guys, but make sure, you're taking care of business in the classroom. And yep. They seem to do that. They take pride in that. We talk about you can't just pick and choose where you're going to be great. If you're going to be great at something, then it's got to be an all the time thing. You got to be a great sister. You got to be a great daughter. You got to be a great classmate. You got to be a great cousin. You got to be a great teammate. So we talk about, reaching different realms, not just focusing on the basketball court. And we want them to be great people, great students, and then great athletes. And I think they've taken that to heart.
Absolutely. Now, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here, Coach. What do you think is the biggest misconception about you as a coach?
Biggest misconception about me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. As far as like other people's perception, you're saying?
Yeah.
You know what? If you just come to the games and see Eastlake North play, mm-hmm. I probably come off a little more intense than I actually am.
Right.
As a person. I actually consider myself really chill and really laid back. But basketball and what we do at North is super important to me. I got a 9 and a 6-year-old, and I got a wife, and mm-hmm. I wouldn't spend all the hours that I do in the gym if it wasn't something I was passionate about and serious about. And when we work on things and we watch film and we work on them again and we talk about them, if those things don't happen the way that we've prepared for, I'm pretty intense. But I think the girls know me as a person, so I don't think they take it personally. Right. They know if they're out there on the court, then they're one of the best 7 or 8 girls basketball players at Eastlake North. So they take that as a compliment. But I'm not like a scary type of guy. I guess I'm pretty intense though during games.
Coach, what kind of impression do you hope to leave on your players once they're done playing for you?
I just hope they have great relationships with each other and with our coaching staff. I just talked to my 9-year-old son the other day. He asked a lot of questions, and I told him, he probably remembers this. I told him, the key to like being a great coach is you got to have great assistant coaches. And I think our staff is incredible at building relationships. They bring knowledge. They're willing to put the time in and out of the gym. And they care about the girls and they have great relationships with them. I can't imagine coaching this group of girls without those assistant coaches because, I try to bring a lot on the basketball side of it, but they are strong as far as building relationships. When we have an alumni game, we usually have like 30 to 40 plus players, coming back to see each other and see the coaching staff. And, I think relationships matter most in life. So, that's what we really try to stress as a staff.
All right, Coach, we'll get you out here on this question here. Now, to a lot of us, the passing of Kobe Bryant is still pretty fresh. Do you yourself have a favorite Kobe Bryant moment?
No doubt. Yeah. Kobe was my guy. I'm actually just reading Mamba Mentality right now. I ordered the book.
Nice.
Took quite a while to get here. I'm sure I wasn't the only one ordering it, but I'm reading through that now. Just the way that he approached the game and the passion that he had for it. Favorite Kobe moment might not be one you've seen on the court, but if you read Relentless by Tim Grover, he was playing in an all-star game. All-star games until this Elam's ending have been pretty chill,
Uh-huh.
And D Wade broke Kobe's nose during the All-Star game.
Wow.
I can't remember the year, top of my head, but anyways, it was kind of accidental, but he was being a little physical, and I guess D. Wade called him a few days after because the Lakers were coming to town, and D. Wade like apologized to him, and Kobe said, "Oh, no, don't worry about it." He said, "I love it." He said, "I love it. I love that you're out there competing." And then he went out to Miami, I think had like 38 points on D. Wade. So
yeah.
That's a good one to look out. I forget the year, but he broke his nose in the All-Star game. It was D. Wade that did it. He tried to apologize, and Kobe's like, "Hey, you know what? That's fine. I love it." And then, he kept it in the back of his head.
Let me just drop 38 on you real quick.
Right.
Yeah. Listen, Coach, thank you so much, man. We appreciate you guys
Yes,
and your support of this show. I can't tell you how much it means to us. And anytime we ask you to come on, you're always gracious enough to do it, and we really appreciate it. Thanks so much, and good luck to you guys the rest of the way, man. We hope you guys get to that tournament down there in Columbus and make it happen for the Rangers.
Thanks. Appreciate it, guys.
You got to take care.
Thank you.
Paul Force, the head coach of the Eastlake North Rangers. I like Coach Force, man.
Great guy.
We've seen that
Class
intensity on the
act.
sideline, too. We've seen the intensity on the sideline, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys go, whoa.
Yeah, well, and some coaches are, you know what, you have some coaches that are really intense. You have some coaches that are actually
chill, laid back.
They're chilled and laid back. They don't say too much. Karen Battle out at Cleveland Heights. When me and Eli went out there after that first
gave
half,
her the business.
man, after that first quarter, she basically undressed her team right there after the first quarter ended. The second quarter.
He was standing right by it. I was on the
right
other
there.
side, and I can hear the coach yelling.
She basically undressed. They weren't playing up to par, and she basically undressed them right there on the court.
She said, "We don't need to go back."
I mean, through the clipboard
yeah.
and all that. So you see a different thing. You have some coaches that are continuously coaching their players through every possession that they're talking, coaching. We see it all, and yeah, the way Coach Force handles his team, the way Coach Force coaches his girls, it's a beautiful thing to watch, man. And someone like Destiny Leah is not really replaceable, for lack of a better term, but I don't have any doubt that with Abby Carter leading the way next year for them, that they're going to be just as much of a force as they've been in the past 4 years. So thanks, Coach Force. We really appreciate you coming on and blessing us with another interview, and we'll be reaching out to you again, I'm sure, sometime in the future. So let's do this.
Hopefully they're state champs too.
Hey man, listen, if they go down there and get that done, we got to have them back on. So let's do this. Let's take a break. We'll come back and then we'll chop it up some more at 8:15 from the Barbershop 92.3 The Fan. Garrett Bush, the homie, will be joining us. We'll talk it up, talking and chop it up with Garrett. So take us out. Eli, what's the name of the song?
The name of the song is called Crown by NSM Beats. This is the Choir Brothers Sports Show on One Unit Media Network.
Yeah. show. So we're moving on to our another coach. Huh?
Yeah, JB Bickerstaff.
Okay. All right.
At least he won't call us thugs.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, okay. All right. I mean, I get that. I get the thug comment.
Remember, I know what you about to say. Oh, the players need to, chill out. Listen, Beeline wanted to step down. Okay, he wanted to step down. He had issues with his family.
It's because his players are soft.
Oh.
and what the thug comment aside, because I can understand anger from that. See, this is why I said when they started the coaching search, this is why I said on this show, I do not want a college coach in here. Because in college, in football, in basketball, whatever, in college, the coach runs the show. There is but one authority figure, and it's the head coach.
Right.
That's it.
True.
That's it. That's the list. Who's in charge? The coach is in charge. Period. It's not that way in the NBA. It hasn't been for a long time. It'll probably never be that way in the NBA again. You can't bring in a college coach. Now, wait. Now, I'll back up a little bit. You can bring in a young college coach. You can't bring in a 67-year-old college coach. You can't do it.
True. And I'm gonna tell you what. I'm sorry to interrupt. Brad Stevens.
Yep.
He was a young college coach coming out of Butler.
Yep.
Got the Boston Celtics. Went to the Boston Celtics, and they clicking on all cylinders.
You can't bring in a 67-year-old college coach. It's just not. That is a recipe for disaster right there. Because, like Gina said, they're set in their ways. He's got a way that he does things.
Yep.
And he's going to want it done his way. And I'm sorry, when you're that old, you're not. Change is not. You know what I mean? Like you're not trying to really change everything.
Right.
Now, with all that being said, again, Doug comment aside, the things that these dudes were complaining about that John Beeline wanted them to do just had me scratching my head and really not liking anybody on this team.
All right, what are the things John Beeline?
Okay. We spend too much time watching film. What? We spend too much time working on fundamentals. Huh? He wants us to play hard every time. That's what you're supposed to do. Listen,
I mean, I don't mean to play devil's advocate or whatnot. I don't mean to be that guy, but if I'm making $30 million a year, all right,
then you should be playing hard.
Right. Earn your dollars.
All right.
Earn your dollars.
If I'm gonna risk injury,
you still gonna get $30 million.
Kobe got a broke nose
in an All-Star game.
Heard.
You're still getting. This ain't the NFL. You're still getting paid $30 million.
Bro,
either by the team.
I'm a $30 million man. What the hell do I gotta listen to a 67-year-old for?
That's the problem.
Number one,
right
he's
there.
your head. That's exactly the problem, Gina. Number one, he's your head coach.
I'm the money.
Let's just start there.
I'm the money.
Okay.
And we see how that's going.
Yeah.
But here's my question, because we have enough young players that aren't too far removed from the college system. So how much influence did the veteran players have on those younger players to be issuing those kind of complaints?
Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson are the veterans on this team. Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson are the veterans. Oh, okay. No. Chetty Osmond. Chetty's been around for a while, but Kevin Love's been around for a long time. Kevin Love's done great things in this league. Kevin Love has a championship ring. Thompson has a championship ring. Those guys, where are those guys? That's my question. Where are those guys? Where are they in the middle of all this?
I'm $90 million man.
Who's going to Colin Sexton and telling Colin Sexton, yo man, you know what? You need to just play. These guys are at the time they were 14-40. Worst record in the Eastern Conference. The only team worse than them is Golden State.
At least we
which
get
is
lottery
really
pick.
amazing to hear, but
no, Steph Curry and Clay.
You know what's gonna happen.
They'll come back, get a lottery pick, and come back and beat everybody down again.
Yeah.
That's how that'll go.
They're gonna call it the revenge tour.
The worst team in the Eastern Conference, your Cleveland Cavaliers. 14-40. And I just saw the other night when they were in Miami, they were getting beat by 30 at halftime. They were getting beat by 30. Yeah. It was 82-52 at halftime. They gave up 82 points in one half.
Is there any redemption?
No.
These guys don't have room to be complaining. They don't have any. What do you complain? You don't have room to complain about anything.
Right.
You stink. And Charles Barkley was right to. Charles Barkley called them all out. Charles Barkley was right to call them out. Every last one of them. You stink. You're one of the worst teams in the league. You're laughing. 2016 is so far gone for this city.
It almost feels like it wasn't really a thing.
It feels like 50
Don't
years
you
ago.
say that. Okay.
It does feel like that.
I can't.
It does feel like that. It feels like that.
We're riding it's like riding on fumes in your car. We're riding on the fumes.
It does feel like that.
Of 4 years ago. And you haven't seen anything like that since. Not even close to that.
We're so far past that.
What do y'all expect? LeBron James left? Okay, LeBron James left.
I expect a professional athlete to want to play.
These are the dark
all the
years,
time.
just like the late
That's what I
'90s,
expect.
just like the late '90s Cavs. These are the dark years.
Asking too much. Asking you to play hard is not asking too much.
Keep on tanking, get a lottery pick,
and we're gonna mess that up too.
Just make the correct one.
We were supposed to get a lottery pick last year. We ended up getting we were supposed to get top 3 last year. We ended up picking 5th. That's not guaranteed. This ain't the NFL. The worst team don't get the number 1 pick. So you could be the worst team in the league and end up picking 9th.
True story. Then
you're really screwed. Asking somebody to play hard, that's not a lot to ask, man. It's not a lot to ask for a professional athlete. Go out there and play hard. Let's watch some film. Coach, we have to watch. Coach, you're watching too much film, Coach. I can't
imagine that being an excuse. Like, how else are you supposed to learn unless you know your opponent? I don't understand that.
Gina, you preach to the choir.
That's like if you go to school and you tell the teacher, I don't want to study this book. But then you mad because you flunked the test. Like, what did you think was going to happen?
You are preaching to the choir, Gina. I have no idea.
Again, I'm going to stick by my statement. I'm the $90 million man. What the hell do I got to listen to?
But you got to earn that.
Because he's your head coach.
There's a level of respect that you should just give him because of his title.
And you're too old to be in the league anyway.
But he's still your coach. He's still your coach. He's still your coach. Just because you make $90 million, I mean you don't have to listen to your coach. He's still your coach.
I'm a prima donna.
Because you're setting a bad example for the younger players.
Exactly.
You're setting a terrible example for the younger players. If you're talking about I don't have to listen to this, because if Kevin Love does that, then of course Colin Sexton's going to do that, and Darius Garland, and maybe Dylan Windler whenever he comes back, Kevin Porter Jr. You can't have the veterans setting that kind of example. And I'm not saying that's what Love and Thompson did. I'm saying you can't have them set. You can't set that kind of example for a young team. I don't have to listen to you. I make X amount of dollars, so I don't have to listen to you. That's stupid. Any veteran that would do that is an idiot and a moron. You don't have to. That's not going to help because it's not going to help you win as a team. Do you not care about winning? You just want to spend your money. You don't care about winning.
Apparently not.
Okay.
It's not. I feel like across the board in Cleveland, sometimes winning is not as important as it is to just be a name on a team.
I guess.
With your name on a jersey.
Every team we went from in 4 years.
Right.
We've gone from being the center of the sports universe to every team in this city being an absolute train wreck. Because now we got left tackles getting busted at the Mexican border with 157 pounds of weed.
He ain't our left tackle no more.
He was when he got caught.
It's not funny, but
what are you
doing?
What is he doing?
I wonder when people do, like when athletes do that, do you think your name is going to somehow keep you from retribution for your actions?
I'm just trying to figure out. You're a pro athlete. Why are you? Listen, man. I'm not a lawyer. All I'm saying is, when the feds charge you with possession with intent to distribute,
that's
feds charge you with that you
years.
Getting some time behind that.
And you're not recovering when you come
That's
back.
not county time. That's fed time right there. Greg Robinson's going to jail.
He's going under the jail.
For a long time.
You're going to jail.
Why would you? why would you just give up your professional career like that?
He don't need the money. What
No,
you trying to sell it for?
He was what, the number 2 pick overall, right? By the Rams.
Yep, by the Rams, number 2 pick overall.
I'm trying to 157 pounds of weed.
How's that possible?
That's a
Who
lot
did
of
he
weed.
owe money to?
Yeah, I mean,
Because that kind of thing is like you owe money to somebody or you got caught up in something.
that's a lot of cash, man.
right.
That's a lot of cash.
Because you can't give me a justifiable
Not a
reason.
lot of cash. That's a lot of weed. I'm sorry. That's a lot of weed.
Well, it translates
Well,
into
it translates
a lot of cash. That's the problem.
157 pounds of weed is a lot of weed. And I don't get it, man. I'm trying to figure out how in any way, shape, or form, again, unless he owes somebody money or he got into some kind of illegal things, and the cartel was like, this is how you gotta pay us back. You need to come get this shipment and take it back over here.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be something like that because I can't imagine an NFL. Well, Nate Newton did it. Nate Newton did it back in the day when he played with Dallas. He did. He got busted with that much. But Nate Newton was doing cocaine.
Oh well.
A lot of them was doing cocaine in the.
I mean, no, he was shipping cocaine.
Oh, he was shipping cocaine.
Yes,
Ooh.
Nate Newton was shipping cocaine.
Oh wow.
157 pounds of weed. Who you selling to, bruh?
Right.
That's a lot of. He either short on money, which I can't. Well, yes, I can't imagine that because these guys they don't spend their money. Most of these guys don't spend their money wisely.
Right.
Absolutely not.
So yeah, I can't imagine him owing somebody something. I can absolutely imagine
They
that.
spend it before they get it. That's the problem.
I
And then all of a
just-
sudden they're in tremendous debt.
I'm trying to figure out a scenario where you as an athlete are like, okay, you want me to bring 157 pounds of weed back across the border? Okay, let me go ahead and get ready to do that. Let me go ahead and throw my entire professional career away.
No life beyond that. Your life is trash at this point. By the time he gets out of prison,
It's gonna be 20 years.
He's looking at 20. And I know some of you guys think he's a professional athlete and nothing. Greg Robinson is going to jail.
he don't got that kind of pull.
This is a Fed charge. I don't care if this was Tom Brady. This is a federal charge. Possession with intent to distribute. He didn't get caught with a couple ounces. He didn't get caught with 8 ounces. He didn't get caught with a pound. 157 pounds of weed. Greg Robinson is going to jail.
Mm-hmm.
The only question is for how long?
Even with good behavior, he ain't getting out no time.
He's going to
soon.
jail for a while. That's just facts.
I wish I had the Law and Order on sound.
Yeah. That needs to, because he's going to jail for a long time, man. I just, again, I'm trying to figure what in your brain is like. Again, he's got to owe somebody money. He's got to be scared. There's got to be maybe something with a cartel or something like that. Because I'm thinking like, what in your head says, yeah, this is a good idea. Let me go ahead and do this.
I'll be able to pull this off, no problem.
Right.
And with everything going on, the borders are so heavily patrolled more now than ever.
Yep.
Unless there was something like that, how could you possibly think you weren't going to get checked?
I don't know.
And for those who don't know what a pound truly looks like, if you've ever seen a bag of flour, 157 of those in a car
That's a lot.
going across the border that
They
they
must have
check
been-
underneath your car to
They
see
must
people
have
are
been.
under there.
They must have been sloppy with hiding it. They
Had to
must have
be.
been sloppy with hiding it.
Had to be. Because, I mean, I'm not going to give all the details of how that kind of stuff works because
Yeah.
my knowledge is from movies, so.
They must have been sloppy with hiding it.
Right.
But,
That's all I can say. They had to have been sloppy with hiding it. Because, I mean, if I'm doing that, I mean, you better, you know what I mean? But I guess there's ways you can do it. Honestly, it's really just the luck of the draw. When you do that, you're playing Russian roulette, man.
True.
You're putting one bullet in the chamber, and you're just spinning the chamber and pulling the trigger and hoping it don't go off. That's what you're doing, because they can come by and they can, 15 cars can go by, and 10 of those cars could have drugs in them, and they'll miss them. But that one car come through and something don't look right, somebody ain't acting right inside. Sir, go ahead and pull over here. And then when they tell you that, it's over with.
it's a wrap.
It's done. because they are going to tear that car apart. If they think you got weed in there, they got no problem tearing that car apart until they find it. And if they don't find it, oh well, you just tore your car apart for nothing.
And not to play devil's advocate, I mean, we know people get busted with huge amounts of drugs like that all the time at the border. But it just doubles it. It makes it 10 times worse because you are a professional athlete.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Like, how much... I'd love to see what the reasoning... I'd love to hear what his reasoning is for that. Like, bro, how much money did you owe? And please don't tell me you was just doing this on the humbug. Like, you just
I
out
was
there...
helping out a friend.
Yeah.
This
You
ain't
just
mine.
out here on GP. You know what I mean? Just trying to with 157 pounds of weed. Please tell me that's not the case. That make you look even worse.
Right? Not really. I have no sympathy for whatever happens
You just
to you.
out here. You just out here trafficking weed in the off season. Like you can't be in the gym working out. You just out here with almost 200 pounds of weed.
You know, when you're not playing, you got nothing better to do with your time.
Okay, I guess.
So I'm gonna go to Mexico. I'm gonna ship it. Pound of weed.
Instead of going on vacation, working out,
Yeah.
Like
this seems like a good use of my time.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it, and I don't think I'll ever understand it.
You won't.
You're a professional athlete.
To be
what
in
are
that
you
kind
doing?
of situation, to be that desperate where you have to do something like that, you'll never understand it. You hope you never understand
I
it.
guess. But I know this, though. As I said, Greg Robinson's going to jail for a long time.
Mm-mm.
He is.
Years.
It's a wrap.
And honestly, man, I don't feel sorry for him one bit.
Nope.
Enjoy it.
Hope it was worth it.
Don't drop the soap.
Because your Cleveland Browns jersey isn't going to do you much credit in there.
Nah.
They're going to look at you like you play for the Browns or you soft.
I just
You going to jail, Bucko?
Bucko? Yeah, you going to jail, Bucko? I don't get it, man.
Jail,
I wish I
man,
could get it. I just
jail,
don't.
man. Yeah, that's you.
That's you. You know what my granddad used to say? What kind of bird don't fly?
Jailbird.
Jailbird.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. All right, so moving on. So now just staying with the NFL though. The NFL owners approved a new collective bargaining agreement.
Okay.
Yep.
The players have to vote on it still. I think the players are going to vote no.
Me too.
And I think they should vote no. Let me tell you something right now. If I'm an NFL player, if in that proposal you're not guaranteeing at least 75% of my contract, I'm not signing nothing. Not that I want to, be out here as a champion for rich professional athletes, but they play arguably the most physical sport of all the pro leagues. You could argue that hockey is more physical, but they play arguably the most physical sport of all of the major professional sports leagues. Every contract in the National Hockey League is guaranteed. Every contract in Major League Baseball is guaranteed.
Absolutely.
Every contract in the NBA is guaranteed. How have the owners gotten away this long without being able to guarantee those contracts? I know Kirk Cousins got his guaranteed, but a guaranteed contract is not the status quo in the NFL like it is in the other leagues. Again, if that proposal don't have at least 75% of my contract guaranteed, I'm not signing it. If I'm a player, I don't want. Nope, I don't want it.
Yeah. Also, I mean, in this new CBA, they're trying to push to 17 games.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the main sticking points here is basically, I mean, if I was a player, I said, no, I'm not going to do 17 games.
17 games, and they'll shorten the preseason. I think they said they'll shorten the preseason.
And they'll add teams.
Yeah, but that's too much. What wear and tear on your body? 17.
Well, I guess
game?
if you trade one game for the other, like if they added 17 games but one less preseason game, then I guess you trade one game for the other. You trade a game that means something for one that doesn't.
Right.
But it hurts the players who are trying to make a roster. It hurts them.
Yeah.
Because now that's one less game they got to prove themselves and show what they can do.
I didn't think about that.
So it hurts them. But if I'm a player, that my guaranteed money is my main sticking point. I need to have my money guaranteed.
Well, I can tell you why they don't guarantee it. Because no NFL player, for real, has a stake ownership-wise to be able to really speak out. The NBA is so different now because so many more players are involved in the organizational structure of teams. You don't have that in the NFL. It's still very much a billionaire's game, and their concern is the dollar. The players kind of play a role in that, but honestly, there's always going to be somebody upcoming that they can look forward to drafting and being like, oh, well, if they get hurt, we can just replace them.
And some of the other proposals in that in the new CBA that the owners have signed would be the elimination of any game suspensions strictly for positive marijuana tests. So if you tested positive for marijuana, you would not be subject to suspension for a game for that. A reduction in the number of players subjected to testing for marijuana. So the NFL is coming around now to the whole thing with weed,
right.
as should a lot of these other leagues. The NFL is slowly coming around. Gambling definitions that ensure players receive a portion of gambling revenue brought in by the league. All right, so the NFL they're getting a little more up to speed with the times, which is fine. That's good. Alterations to training camp, including the introduction of a 5-day acclimation period, a limit of 16 days in pads, and a limit of 4 joint practices in a three preseason game scenario. So they would add a 17th game, and like I said, they probably take 1 preseason game away.
Right, from a safety standpoint.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
According to Adam Schefter of ESPN, the proposal also includes a game day roster increase from 46 players to 48 players, with overall rosters going from 53 to 55. So instead of a 53-man roster, you have a 55-man roster, and on game day you can have 2 extra players, 48 and 46.
And I mean that's good for a player that's actually on a bubble, from making the team.
And you could also bring back 3 players from injury reserve each season.
Wow.
And practice squads would go from 10 players to 12 players in 2020 and 14 in 2022. So your practice squad would expand. But J.J. Watt, one of the best players in the league, said, nope, no deal. Hard pass on that.
Why?
He didn't really say. He just tweeted out a hard no on that proposed CBA. That's all he tweeted out. I'm telling you, guaranteed money is going to be a big deal, and it should be. It's time for the players to be like, listen, man, I need all my coins, or at least 75% of it. If I can't get that, I need all my coins.
Right.
I need everything. Everything. I need everything. I need it all. Because I'm going out here and getting my head beaten. I need all my run me my coins.
Wasn't they looking to expand the playoffs as well?
Yeah, they're going to expand the number of teams that go into the playoffs. So they would have 7 teams from each conference instead of 6 teams from each conference, and only 1 team would get a first-round bye as opposed to 2 teams getting a first-round bye.
And then it looks like there's a CBS article. They're going to add 2 bye weeks for every team?
Yeah, because if you have 17, you're going to have to add a bye week because you got to figure in the teams going to London, going to Mexico and playing and things like that. So,
I mean, it sounds real good, but like you said, it's going to boil down to that guaranteed money. Also, that extra game.
Run me my coins. I need that, Mr. Goodell. I need my money.
You really think if they came with this, Jerry Jones said, "No, I'm not going to." Let me
tell you something. DeMaurice Smith, the head of the NFL Players Association, has gone on record as saying he told players a while. He said, "I've been telling these guys for a couple of years, save up your money. Don't go out buying big, expensive gifts. Don't go out buying big houses, fancy cars. Save your money because." At the moment, we are preparing to strike for 2 years if we have to.
So he foreshadowed this.
He's telling his players. He's been telling players this: save your money, because we want to be fully prepared for a work stoppage, and we're prepared to sit out for at least 2 seasons if we have to.
Wow! Can you imagine?
Oh, God.
It's no joke, man.
Can you imagine?
It's no joke. They haven't had a striking since the late 80s, I think, was the last time the NFL went on strike.
I'm telling you that if they go on strike, then it's really gonna hurt these owners' pockets. Like honestly, like that.
Sometimes it's the only way to get results. Is you gotta
go.
You hit them in the pockets, boy.
No,
you get whatever you
with
want.
the strike, no TV deals, no nothing. Everything stops.
Run me my coins. I need my money. If I'm a player, if I'm a player rep, I need guarantee. And I'm not talking about the signing bonus either. if you sign me to a $60 million contract, I need at least 3/4 of that contract to be fully guaranteed,
Yeah.
if not every penny of it. Because it's time for this to stop. You guys can sign me to a $60 million contract, pay me a $20 million signing bonus, and the $20 million is all that I'm guaranteed to get. So that's $40 million potentially left on the table. It's time for that to stop, man. It's time for that to go.
So let my ignorance show here for a 2nd.
Mhm.
How do those situations play out where they only get the $20 million?
Because a team can cut you at any time. Now, they may have to take a cap hit for it.
Yeah.
Because your salary still counts towards that.
Right,
so your
right.
salary is
It
still
counts towards
right.
books. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly, Eli. I'm sorry, I cut you off. Your salary will still count towards the books, towards the cap. So if you're, if you're due $10 million that season and they want to cut you, they can cut you, but it's not like that $10 million just magically disappears and they got $10 million extra dollars to spend. They're still owed. They're still on the hook for that $10 million, whether you're on the team or not. So they can cut you at any time and not have to pay you the rest of that contract. Wow. So even if they take a $10 million cap hit, they paid you $20 million in guarantees, they sign you for $60, they cut you, they owe you $10 million for that, or they're on the hook for that $10 million. That's still $30 million they don't have to pay.
True.
And again, I'm not sure how they keep getting away with that. Every CBA they sign, guaranteed money is not part of it, and I'm not sure why the NFLPA keeps letting them do that. I don't know why.
I'm guessing when this thing is signed, that's guaranteed money is not going to be a factor this time.
It better be. It better be. If they're going to strike, they better be striking over guaranteed money, because everything else that we just read sounds pretty decent.
Right.
I mean, the two things that they're going to strike over are guaranteed money and that 17th game. Yep. That's what they're going to strike over. Guaranteed money and the 17th game. And those are two pretty big things to strike over, because that 17th game, that's more wear and tear on your body. You could get hurt in that 17th game.
And that's it.
I mean, yeah, so it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I'm gonna need you to run me my corner, NFL.
I wonder what their logic is for adding the 17th game.
Money.
Money.
It's all about money.
I mean,
you make more money off.
Yeah, you draw out the season.
Yep.
More people.
More people tune in.
TV revenue.
Revenue.
I bet that's more of it than anything.
Mm-hmm.
But the article I was looking at, they were talking about if they expand it, it's going to affect the Oscars because it'll run right into it.
Nobody care about that.
No.
Yeah.
We don't care about that. We football fans.
That's true.
All right, let's do this. Let's take a break. We'll come back, and at 8:15, man, Garrett Bush from 92.3 The Fan will be joining us. We'll chop it up with Garrett. We'll talk about some of the topics going on in the city and the world of sports around here. So we'll chop it up with Garrett. Can't wait for that. Okay, let's take a break. You like the name of the song?
This name of the song is called City Girls by producer CJ Beats. This is the Quad Brothers Sports Show on One Unimedia Network.
Yep. Eli,
What up?
have you been watching the XFL?
No.
I watched a little bit yesterday. Tampa Bay and Houston. Couple takes from that game.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, the Tampa Bay Vipers have to have the ugliest uniforms in the XFL. That
Let
bright
me peep
lime
these out,
green,
man.
that bright lime green with the yellow face mask. Those are some bright uniforms.
It's Tampa Bay what?
Tampa Bay Vipers. Those uniforms are bright, son.
Like highlighters?
Like, yes, basically, yes.
Ooh.
Right.
Whoa.
Them joints are bright. Bright.
Oh
you
my
can't,
god.
You can't miss that tackle.
I think Houston might. I think Houston and New York might have the best uniforms.
But you know what? Speaking on the XFL, viewership has went down.
Who didn't see that coming?
Yeah, but I think I honestly, when I watch it, I'm like, you know what? This will hold me over to the NFL starts.
Yeah.
This is good enough football to hold. I tell you this, you heard it here first. Maybe not, but you might have heard it somewhere else. But I'm saying it here on this show right now. The quarterback for the Houston Roughnecks, P.J. Walker, he's going to be on the roster come the NFL season starts. I'm telling you that right now.
Okay.
He played with the Indianapolis Colts when Andrew Luck was there. Andrew Luck put a bug in his dad's ear because his dad is the commissioner of the XFL.
Yeah, Oliver Love.
Said,
right.
you need to look at this kid. This kid is talented. He can play. P.J. Walker is tearing it up in the league right now. And I believe Houston is 3-0. P.J. Walker is going to be on the roster. I'm telling you right now. When the NFL, when training camp starts, P.J. Walker is going to have a job with a team. He is, and look, you can say, hey, it's the XFL and the talent ain't that great and yada yada yada. All I know is that young boy is killing it right now.
Where did he come from? Is he college or?
I can't remember. I want to say no, not Northern Iowa. I don't know what college he went to, but I know he was a third string quarterback in Indianapolis.
You know what Vince McMahon is saying, right?
No, what's Vince McMahon saying?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Come
my
on,
bad.
Eli. I mean, if you don't have it ready, bro. Yeah, you can't segue and not have a clip ready. Come on, Eli. Broadcasting 101 over here.
Sorry about that.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry about that.
Moving on.
Wait.
Good grief. All right.
We're waiting.
It's back to me. I hope he doesn't say
That's
that
what Vince
anymore.
He does.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, you lost the mood though,
It's
man.
so unfortunate.
Come on, brother. Come on, producer. If you gonna cue it, if you gonna segue it, had a clip
you know
ready,
what?
man.
Yeah, you know what? I gotta rub myself.
Please.
Bruh.
Had a
Good
clip
job.
ready, man.
Yeah.
Gotta have a clip ready, son. But no, I this will hold me over. As a football fan, from what I'm seeing right now in the XFL, this will hold me over. And I kind of hope it continues. I hope it gets better. The product gets better.
Yeah.
Because honestly, what you may start finding is a lot of these young men that don't get drafted into the
That's where
NFL
they end
that think they could be drafted. Right. Instead of going to the CFL, they go to the XFL. And then I'm telling you, man, I am telling you right now, P.J. Walker will be on an NFL roster once training camp starts. I'm telling you that right now.
What, Matt McGloin?
Matt McGloin, man. Listen,
Man.
Matt, the last thing you want to do, bro, is basically at halftime say that you have to change your whole offensive game plan. That's going to get you a spot on the bench, sir.
This is what
Right.
I think of Matt McGloin.
Pretty much. They should have played that right after he opened his mouth and said that. That'll get you a spot on the bench ASAP.
That's a perfect example of you're speaking before you think.
He was. I mean, but see, that's the good and the bad of the XFL because they catch players right in the moment.
True.
Yeah.
They were in the locker room, and this is what I like. I like the all access that the NFL gives. I like the all access. They were in the locker room yesterday, and they're sitting right there. The defensive line coach is talking to the lineman, and then right after that's done, they interview one defensive lineman. I like that all access. The NFL will probably never allow that.
Oh, heck no.
I like the all access I like on the sidelines after a quarterback throws a second interception, he's got to go in and be interviewed right on the sideline. They get him right in the moment. And sometimes when they get you in the moment, you say dumb stuff like, we need to change our whole offensive game plan. And that gets you a seat on the bench.
Now, does the XFL work very similar to the NFL, or is their whole scoring system different?
No, well, their score system is
Because I heard somebody was trying to
think
explain
their
it to me,
scoring
and I
system
was
is
like,
better.
wait,
I
you
think
can
it's
end up
better.
6 to 9 or 3 to however those numbers
Yeah.
work. It was just really
I
odd.
think it's better.
Yeah, you go for what? A 4-point
You can go for a 1 a 2 or 3 point conversion.
That's it. Yeah.
I think their scoring is better than the NFL. I think there are some things in the NFL and the XFL that are better than the NFL. The kickoff, I love the way they do kickoffs, where nobody moves until the guy actually catches the ball, and the players are all like 5 yards apart. And when the guy catches the ball, then everybody starts moving and trying to
and
tackle.
It's
safer.
it's safer, and it can be good for like punt returns and kickoff returns.
Yep.
Like,
No. Now the punt returns are the same.
Okay.
Punt returns are the same. Because I saw a punt return yesterday. Punt returns are the same, but the kickoff is different. And that's safer. You don't have guys, at least on kickoffs, running 40 yards and smashing into each other.
True.
So on the kickoffs is different. The punt is the same. I like that you only need to get. I love that you only need to get 1 foot in bounds.
Just like college.
Just like college. You only need 1 foot in bounds. That's a great rule. That's a fantastic rule. 1 foot in bounds, and it's a catch. None of this. Oh, he's got it. Nope, none of that. Like I said, I like the. They had so June Jones is the Houston head coach. You remember June Jones?
Oh yeah.
And Jerry Glanville is the defensive coordinator in Tampa.
Oh,
his defense ain't doing that great of a job, but he's the defensive coordinator in Tampa. And yesterday, all they were showing was Jerry Glanville. I'm like, Jerry Glanville's not the head coach. They kept showing June Jones, but they kept showing Jerry Glanville. The head coach of Tampa is Mark Trestman.
I remember him. Yeah,
he was here. Mark Trestman is the head coach in Tampa. I don't know. I just like it. I think it's a good product. And I think some of those guys I know that cornerback that plays for DC, who was here in Cleveland, needs to get a roster spot. Elijah Williams. He's a cornerback for DC.
Let me see that.
He played in Northern Iowa. I wonder if Cardale Jones will get another shot.
He better.
This could be a very interesting league as far as like people getting kind of redemption.
I mean, it could be a feeder system to the NFL.
I think eventually it'll morph into that. I think it'll morph into that eventually.
Agree.
I think it'll morph into that eventually.
It's a good showcase.
Yeah, I think so too.
Are the dimensions the same as far as the
Oh
field
yeah,
goes?
everything else is they just some rule changes and things. Everything else is the same.
Okay.
Which is great. Again, we don't need gimmicks. No gimmicks.
That's
I just want to see
what
football.
happened the first time it existed.
That's what killed him.
Yeah.
That clip Eli played, that was the beginning of the end right there. You got to see that documentary on the XFL. If you've never seen it, there's a 30 for 30 on the XFL. On
Dick
the original
Eisenberg.
XFL.
Okay, I'm gonna go hunt that down.
On NBC, Dick Eisenberg was like the CFO or CEO of NBC or executive producer of the XFL back in 2001. And he when Vince McMahon came out there and said that, he just shook his head like, oh crap.
People were like, this is it. This is the beginning of the end right there. That was it.
That's amazing.
And I think it's not going to be as gimmicky. It won't be. I know that.
It can't be.
It won't be as gimmicky.
I think maybe he was thinking of it more along the lines of his wrestling brand.
Yeah, he was.
And then he realized football doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. All right, so I want to move on here to another topic, and Eli, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised.
Okay.
I want to move to this whole cheating scandal with the Astros, and I have to say, I agree generally with the sentiment that the Astros should have a asterisk next to that World Series.
Whoa!
Yeah, I do. Just after hearing more things that come out about it and how deep it actually went. And,
well, now.
Hey, I mean, we call a spade a spade. They
It's
were
big
cheating.
of you, Kevin.
Huh?
It's big of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No, you're going to let me enjoy this.
No,
you're going to let me enjoy this.
Now, listen. Now, you know me. As far as cheating is concerned, especially like in the steroid era and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know me. I won't come off at this point. As far as the steroid era, I believe everybody from the steroid era should be in the Hall of Fame. And I'm talking about McGuire, Sosa, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Andy Pettitte. They should all be in the Hall of Fame.
I was enjoying this.
Manny Ramirez. They should all be in the Hall of Fame. Because if the hitters were doing it, you better damn well believe the of course, Roger Clemens was doing it. One of the best pitchers ever. So if the hitters were doing it, the pitchers were doing it.
Yeah. Go back to the Astros thing, okay?
Well, I just when you it wasn't just stealing a couple of signs. Like this was a whole elaborate scheme going on there. And yeah, if you really want to be objective, it cheapens now all of this outrage from the other players, and these guys should be banned and they should be out for a season and yada 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 from the players.
They should serve some games, man.
Shut up.
Some games.
No, you know why? Because number one, anybody that if anybody would get suspended from that, number one, believe it or not, the players union, they're going to go to bat for those players, and those suspensions will get overturned. And then what you're going to do is you're going to open up a Pandora's box. You have to go back and look at every other scenario where you think somebody might have cheated. And now you got no.
I tell you who need to shut their mouth. Carlos Correa need to shut his damn mouth. Talking about Cody Bellinger and everything.
Yeah, Cody Bellinger needs to shut up too. Like, you know what I hate is this soapbox self-righteous posturing from all these players out there. Shut up. Because every team's out there trying to get an edge.
True.
Every Astros player batter, when they come up to bat, they getting beamed.
No, that's I think Rob Manfred's already shut that down. And because here's the thing, it's not worth all of that. There's been punishments handed down, and whether or not you think it's fair or not, there have been punishments handed down, and what you don't want is a player trying to ding an Astros hitter in the back, and then the ball gets away from him. Now you hit him in the head, and now you know what I'm saying.
Sure,
it's not worth all of that.
I'm not saying ban. Just give him a little chin music, make him come back up to the plate, and then if he don't respect you,
but how long does that last though? I mean, you're gonna.
It's gonna last all year.
See, that's stupid though. That's dumb. That's stupid.
That's petty.
We're gonna do this for 162 games. Every single game that they play.
I mean, if I was a pitcher, I would have felt cheated. If I faced the Astros in those years, I would have felt cheated.
Yeah, I don't know. That seems very extreme. Because at some point there's got to be an end point. When does it end? So are you going to do it this season? Then so there's still going to be no cheaters. You're going to do it next season too, and then the season after that, and the season after that. What if the Houston Astros win the World Series this year? Then what? What do we do?
Don't put that out there.
I'm just saying.
It's a reality.
They didn't get rid. They got rid of AJ Hinch. All the players are still there.
Okay, who's their manager? Dusty Baker.
That's a pretty damn good manager to me.
And he hasn't won. Hasn't won a championship.
Dusty Baker is a good. Come on, Eli. You know baseball. You know damn well. Dusty Baker is a damn good manager.
Okay, how come he didn't win it in San Francisco and then Bruce Bochy came back and won two titles?
Eli, come on now. Are you come on, you know baseball. I know you do.
Yeah.
Dude, please do not try to minimize Dusty Baker as a manager. You know how good of a manager Dusty Baker is. You know this.
I'll never admit it.
You know this. You know, and I know, and everybody in baseball circles know that Dusty Baker is a damn good baseball manager. You know this. This is not a secret. He's not a new Jack. He's not a Johnny. Dusty Baker is a good manager. So let's not act like he's some also Dusty Baker's, and with that talent, Dusty Baker can do a lot of good with that talent. I'm just saying, what if they win the World Series this year? So now what? I mean, Correa's already calling it. Not Correa. Altuve's already saying we're going to win the World Series this year.
All right, well, hey, Altuve, come get your ass whooped.
Okay, I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. It's very possible that the Houston Astros could win the World
Series. Say the Indians, right?
It's not possible for them. No, it's possible for them too. I guess.
Anything is possible.
If the pitching holds up for the Indians, yeah, it's possible. If they don't trade Frankie mid-season, yeah, it's possible. It's possible. So, but I mean, if the Astros win, then going back to 2017, yes, I think that there should. Now, here's an idea that was floated out there, and I can't really say that I disagree with it too much. Mm-hmm. Let the Astros play the season out, and then when it gets like a week left from the end of the postseason, from the beginning of the postseason, tell them you guys are ineligible for the postseason.
There you go.
Because that way they're not tanking all year long. Because if you tell them at the beginning of the season, there's no incentive for them to do anything because they can't make the postseason no matter what their record is.
True.
So you wait. That way they're playing hard. They're thinking we still got a shot to win this thing. And then 1 week before the postseason, you tell them, listen, you guys aren't playing in the postseason for this season. That would be a good punishment, I think. And then just drop it. Like, let it go. It's done. It's over with. We know they cheated. They're not taking the trophy away. I don't know. You could get creative with it. You could not let them raise a banner. Or you could make them take their banner down or take the pennant off of the wall or however they got it at Minute Maid Park. You could make them take that down and say you guys can't display that banner because you didn't earn it fair and square. You cheated the guy. You can't display that banner. And honestly, if I was the Astros, I wouldn't want that banner up there.
Right, because it's a constant reminder.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
People are going to look at it and be like,
I wouldn't
want
want that up there. I wouldn't want that. Like I wouldn't. And here's the thing for their fans. Everywhere their fans go, if I was an Astros fan, if I went to another team stadium to watch the Astros play, I'm not wearing anything that says World Series champions. I'm not wearing anything like that. You're gonna get it already.
Yeah, that's an ass whooping right there.
Yeah, well, not an ass whooping.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, why you so violent, bruh?
Dude,
I mean, that's not an
not
ass
everybody
whooping.
is a savage.
I would just, but I say the verbal abuse that you would have regularly gotten as a fan of the Astros is going to be ratcheted up a few notches if you wear something that says World Series champions on it. And if you do something like that, then you deserve whatever comes to you. Right?
Yeah, agreed.
So I wouldn't, but I mean, you can get creative with it though. I like the idea of telling them, all right, 1 week before the postseason, you guys are out. You don't get to play in. And then the next team in line that's eligible gets your spot. So even if like you had them by a couple of games and they would have been just on the outside looking, now they get your spot. So let's say it's the Indians, right. And the Astros are 2 games ahead of the Indians with a week to play. And so you tell the Astros, okay, you guys aren't playing in the postseason. Cleveland, you're up, you're in. That's your spot now. And the Indians get that spot. Something like that.
I'll be happy with that.
I think you would too. But no, there's got to be, and I see guys calling that Mike Fiers a snitch and all that kind of. I have mixed feelings on that because my thing is you knew what was going on while you were on the team. Why didn't you say something then?
Right.
What happened where you now you're saying something? Now you're coming out like, all right, I'm gonna put this whole thing out there. This is what we were doing. Why now? Because Mike Fiers plays for I want to say the Angels now.
Yeah, he plays for Angels.
Something like that. I don't know. He's on a new team. I know that much. And every guys on this new team kind of looking at him sideways, like, "Hey, you ratted out." Which is dumb. It's dumb, but
because then it's like, well, if you're not doing nothing, what are you worried about?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I will say there's got to be some kind of punishment / asterisk, something like that to go along with that.
Yeah.
Well, there will be, just maybe not officially, but there'll always be one attached to it.
Yeah, I think so. All right, so let's do this. We're waiting on Garrett Bush. Let's take a quick break. Let's take one more break, and we'll see if we can get Garrett in here. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back, and we'll try to find Garrett Bush to chop it up with him. And hope maybe he'll call during the break. I don't know. So let's go ahead and take a break and I'll name the song.
Name of the song is called Game Over by Anabolic Beats. This is Quad Brother Sports Show on One Unit Media Network.
Yep. show. Still waiting on Garrett Bush to call in. We'll keep it going for a little bit longer, see if Garrett is going to give us a call. You know what I was doing? I was just talking to Eli and Gina. I love going through old pictures, man. I found an old picture of my mom and my pops.
Mm-hmm.
This picture was, man, I'm going to say this picture was maybe like, if I had to guess, this might have been like 74, 74 maybe. Pops got the butterfly collar, with the leisure suit.
Yes, sir.
With the perm.
Styling.
Pops was a G, man.
Fly.
Pops was a G. I mean, it's so cool. So there's a picture, and I'm gonna post it later on my Facebook page. But there's a picture that my Aunt Juanita had of my mother. So they lived in this apartment. It was like an apartment over a store. And it was on the same road that I grew up in, on Lawrence Road in Canton, Ohio. This was in the 60s. But my mom there's a picture of my mom. It had to be in the summertime because she had on like a short sleeve shirt. It was sunny out. She's standing. My Aunt Juanita said we used to go up on the roof and just be up on the roof playing or doing whatever on this store. So this is right at the corner of Lawrence Road and Spring Avenue. This is the neighborhood I grew up in. And my mom is standing on the roof getting her picture taken. And just looking at that picture, there's like a house on a corner. And then when I was a kid, I remember that house. Obviously, it was an older house when I was a kid because I was a kid in the 80s. But I remember that house. I can see down the street and see a bit of the house that I actually grew up in as a kid. Wow. And it's so, I guess, surreal to see my mom, because we used to go into that store all the time. There was a man in the neighborhood, his name was Mr. Kinlow, and he had a bait store in that same apartment area where they lived, where my mom grew up at, was living at that time on Lawrence Road. Mr. Kinlow had his bait store, so me and my brother would do like little chores for the old ladies in the neighborhood. We'd cut some grass or shovel some snow or whatever. And this one lady named Betty Albert, she would give us, like, we would go and cut her grass. She would give us each $1. And we would go to Mr. Kinlow's bait store, and you could get, lemon heads or Boston baked beans or now and laters. Or y'all might not be old enough to remember this, but the little Jolly Ranchers, they had them. They were sticks, so they were like that long. They weren't the little pieces of candy. They were flat sticks.
I sure don't.
Yes, they were flat sticks. They were Jolly Rancher sticks, and so you get those. Those were like 10 cents.
Oh my gosh!
So you could go to Mr. Kinlow's bait store.
Clean up.
You could clean up. You get yourself a couple boxes of lemon heads, a couple of sticks, maybe some now and laters, and then with the 25 cents you had left, you go to the back of the store and play Pac-Man or Jungle Hunt or Donkey Kong on the arcade.
Wait, you still had money left?
Yeah. Everything was like 10 cents, 5 cents. You get fireballs.
It's like the penny candy store.
Yeah, fireballs.
Man.
So you fireballs were like 5 cents. God, I'm so old. Fireballs were like 5 cents. So you could go and you could get 80 or 75 cents worth of fireballs. And then you had a quarter left over. You go to the back of the store, put your quarter in, and play some Jungle Hunt. Jungle Hunt was dope, man. Jungle Hunt was a dope game. I don't know if you remember that arcade game. Jungle Hunt was nice.
I sure don't.
It was like a guy that looked like Tarzan, but he had to save his girls. These different scenes, like he's running up this mountain one. He got to jump over these boulders and all kinds of yeah.
I bet that one would make me so mad.
Jungle
I
Hunt,
would stink so bad.
Donkey
at that
Kong. All right, so I just got a message from G Bush. G Bush said he called in 5 minutes, so we'll get ready for Gary Bush in a few minutes. Okay. But we used to go to Mr. Kinlow, and it's just like it's so surreal, man. I wish I would have brought the pictures to see my mother in the 60s standing on that roof and just envisioning that whole area, that intersection, the houses, and being able to see the house where I grew up in when I was a kid, that we moved into when I was 5, and just I don't know, man. It's weird, and I love going through old photos like that. And my Aunt Juanita got a lot of old photos.
It makes things seem so surreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You always think you're like, my mom always said, the only thing new on the scene is you. Because you
Pretty
always feel
much.
like everything is like brand
Pretty
new.
much.
And that's brand new to you.
There's a picture that I have with my mom. It's had to be like 77. I could have been no more than 2. And my mom was holding my brothers. My mom is standing there. My brother's in front of her, and she's holding me. There's another picture of me and my brother killing them in the suits, man. We was killing them. We was killing them.
Casket shot.
I had the light blue joint on. He got the dark blue, navy blue joint on.
That's when they
We was
coordinated.
killing them. We was killing them.
Like John Weatherspoon, you got to coordinate.
We had to coordinate. I got a picture of my mother, and it says on the photo, it's printed on the side of the photo, it's May of 1957. My mom not even a year old.
Oh my
And
god.
she's sitting on the steps in front of their house. It's just so crazy, man. She wasn't even a year old because she was born in July of 56. So she wasn't even a year old.
At one time, our parents were children.
They were children at one time. I would implore anybody, man, if you can, just do that. Go through, find some of your older relatives that you go through some old photos, man. You'd be surprised what you can dig up, especially if you find I'm telling you, ask some OGs, man. Ask some G's. My Uncle Dickie, my Uncle Ronnie, they asked some G's, man. My pops with the perm. My pops went from the perm to the Jerry curl, man. Yeah,
Laid out.
he had the Jerry curl. I would implore anybody, if you get the chance, man, go do that. Find some of your older relatives. Ask them if they got any photo albums.
They will have no problem being like, here's 20.
Yeah, and,
Go.
and luckily, and God bless my Aunt Rita, man. She's like, man, whatever you see in there, you can have it.
Oh wow, she
Whatever
let you
picture
have
you see in there,
them?
you can have it.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
So I took a lot of them.
How could you not?
Right. I took a lot of those pictures, man. Some pictures I just took snaps on my phone, like pictures of my sister when she was little. I use those later.
Blackmail.
Yeah, I use those later. I might put her on blast on Facebook.
That's all a lot of love.
She got one picture. My sister, it's had to be in the mid-90s. She was trying out for the group Escape. You know what I mean? She had on the
I
plaid.
snorted. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she sure did. She had on the plaid. You know how that look was in the mid-90s, the plaid. Maybe you
That
don't.
clueless.
The plaid shirt look and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Yeah, that kind of West Coast plaid, everything baggy type. She
And
had
you
on
know
that.
you lived on the East Coast.
Yeah. But she looked like she was trying out for Escape.
That's hilarious.
I sent her the picture. I'm gonna use that. I might use that
Oh,
later on.
man.
It's dope doing that, man. Going through them old photos and finding that stuff. Like, oh wow. Like those pictures. Like I'm never getting rid of these pictures.
No. And I bet you she lets you have them because of the fact that that's how things get passed down through your family.
Yeah. That's stuff that I can keep and cherish, and I can be like, look, man, this was your grandma or your great grandma, in 1957.
Right. A
You know what I
million
mean?
years ago.
Yeah,
Last
a million
millennium.
years ago, when Canton was still a thriving city.
Upcoming, bustling.
It's hit some hard times now, man. It's hit some hard times. I ain't gonna front, man. My city's.
I went down there with you, man. We went to the game. You showed me
I showed them around. That same neighborhood. Yeah, when I
Yeah,
showed you past the
yeah.
house, my mom was standing on that roof. In that basement, man, y'all don't know. I can't believe y'all don't remember the Jolly Rancher sticks, man.
I think I've seen them.
They're like flat. They're just flat. Like they had the cinnamon ones and the apple
No.
and cherry. I think is all they had. Cinnamon, apple, and cherry.
I wonder if you could
Maybe
like
peach.
B.A. Sweetie if they would have them.
Probably. Probably.
I think they do.
And they'd be $2 a stick.
I think they do at BA Sweeties. I'm pretty sure they do have them
We
at
may
BA
have to
Sweeties.
make, if I can get
You
a
may have to
green
make a
apple
BA
one,
Sweeties run.
Man.
Let me see. I'm gonna look it up right now because I think they do got them at Jolly Rancher sticks. I think they do have them at BA Sweeties.
That's a weekend trip, man.
I'm telling you, man.
I need green apple.
The sour apple joint. They had a sour apple. Yeah, the sour apple joint. Oh my god.
That's the only one I would want.
There is nothing better than a sour apple Jolly Rancher.
Oh my gosh. It's
Best
the best
candy on earth.
I don't know why they don't make it just by itself. You know how like they have the red ones all by themselves? Just give me the green apple ones.
Like
by
a whole bag of
themselves.
green apple.
That's all I want. I bought a bag of Jolly Ranchers, Kev, and I literally just ate the green ones and gave them to my brother and was like, you can have the rest.
If you eat the green apple and the cherry together, oh man, the green apple and the cherry together.
You like Laffy Taffies, right?
Yeah, Laffy Taffies.
I don't like the banana. Bananas.
Nah, bananas
Yeah,
fire. I don't know what
yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah, bananas sucks.
Bananas fire.
What?
Bananas
Here we
fire.
go.
Banana is fire on the Laffy Taffy. Strawberry Laffy Taffy. Well, I don't think there's
I
any.
don't think it's a bad flavor.
I don't think there's a bad flavor with Laffy Taffy. Boston baked. I just had Boston baked beans last week.
I had those
I'm
cherry
good
sours.
on them. I'm good on
Huh?
Boston baked beans.
Oh, you bugging?
This is the
Lemon
same
head,
guy who
bro.
eats dots.
You eat dots?
Yes,
He go in
sir.
on some
God.
dots. You can't trust his palate. It's
Oh
not
my
very
God.
cultured.
I said that. I'm like, yeah, you ain't got no taste, man. I'm like,
I eat mint chocolate chip, mint chocolate.
well, you know what? That's okay. Cause I eat York peppermint patties.
Ugh.
You don't like York? I eat York.
Chocolate
She
and mint
hates
is a sin against nature.
York peppermint patties. I'll eat.
Ugh,
I'll eat
no.
that. I'll eat York
No.
peppermint patties.
I don't like peppermint.
I like it in that form. In the form of a peppermint patty, yes, I will eat chocolate and mint. Like mint chocolate chip ice cream, I'm good on that. I don't need it. I don't need that in my life. That's mint
I
chocolate
eat
chip.
that.
Nah, I'm good. And the Thin Mints, Girl Scout cookie, I don't eat those either.
I eat them too, bro.
He only eats those.
If I'm desperate, I will eat Thin Mints. If I'm desperate. I'll eat. If I really want something sweet and I really want a little bit of chocolate taste, I'll eat Thin Mints. But yeah, peppermint patties, Boston baked beans though. Come on, son. Lemon heads.
Lemon heads.
Don't they have like a whole bunch of flavors of those now? Like the cherry
ones,
cherry
and all that kind of
heads,
stuff, and sour ones, and red hots. We used to get them too at the base store. Red hots.
Red hots.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes.
Mike and Knights.
Yes, Mike and I. We didn't have. They didn't have Mike and I.
They didn't have Mike. Really?
They might have had them, but he just didn't have them at that store. Mr. Kinlow didn't have them, but we had the Now and Laters. Yes.
I thought that I never knew they were called Now and Laters. We always call them Now Laters.
Now Laters.
It's not the real name. It's not Now and Later. It's Now Later.
What about Blow Pops?
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Tootsie Pop.
Yep, Tootsie Pop.
Yeah,
I remember one time.
I'm good on Tootsie Pop. Man.
What?
I'm
Oh,
good
What
on
is
Tootsie
wrong?
Pop.
I think I might have to give you your ring back. You're
I
just
remember
making me
one
doubt
time.
everything.
Yeah, you got to go. I remember one time I was in 9th or 10th grade, and I was in school. I was in a shop class, and we didn't build things every day. Some days would be a lecture day, and the teacher would just talk to us. You know, it's a 45-minute class, man, and he had this real monotone voice.
Oh no.
So it was easy to he like put you to sleep because of the way he talked. I can't remember his name, but the way he talked was really monotone. But he would sell candy, Tootsie Pops. He would sell candy. You can come buy a Tootsie Pop for, I think, 10, 15 cents, something like that. Maybe a quarter. Might have been a quarter. And so I bought a couple of Tootsie Pops. And because it was a lecture day, I was just like, you know what? Let me see how many licks it takes to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop.
Oh, hell.
And so I just started licking it. Single licks. I think by the time the class is over, I had licked it like 820-something times, and I wasn't at the center yet.
Are you kidding?
Yep.
The fact that you sat there and counted it, though.
I mean, what else was I going to do? You know what I
True.
mean? We weren't building anything. He was just talking.
I can sleep or I can count.
Right, because I would have felt it just kept me awake. I think to 820-something times before I was like, forget it, just bit it.
Man, now you get the commercial. It makes so much more sense now, doesn't it?
Made so much more sense. I'm like, man, this class is so boring, and this guy's like, all right, let me just start. And I just started licking it.
I can't imagine. I've never had a teacher that boring, thank goodness.
I've had some boring teachers.
I've never had a teacher that boring.
I've had some boring teachers.
Yeah, I had some boring teachers.
I had a teacher when I was in 8th grade, Mr. Minier. He drank a lot of coffee.
That can't end well.
And he would like to come and talk to you and come stand over your shoulder and talk to you with the coffee breath. Yeah.
Wake up.
I had a earth science. I had a biology teacher. His name was Mr. Gall, right?
Mm-hmm.
This guy would go in the back. He had a back room. Oh.
Pause.
All right, man. We're going to come back to that. Join us right now on the phone line. He's been gracious enough to join us. The homie from 92.3 The Fan, Garrett Bush. G-Bunny, what's up?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing, man?
My man, Garrett Bush. Now, I got to say this, man. I remember, this back in the Garrett might not even remember this. I remember, man, me and Garrett, we went to do, the first time I really got to know him, we went to do this remote. Me and him from KNR out in Solon. We had to drive from Cleveland to Solon to do this remote. We had a blast.
Man.
We bought the prize wheel. We had a blast out there, man. It was good. And man, hey man, again, much love to you, much love, and on your success, man. I appreciate you coming on the show. Let's get right to it, man. Hey, so look, man. All right, I know you've been talking about it on your show. What's going on with the cast? Who's to blame here, Garrett? Is it Beeline? Is it the players? Is it both? Who's to blame for this?
You know. Sometimes I think I don't know if it was the best. Maybe it was the best fit to start with. But I look at it as a combination of a few things. I look at Beeline, and sometimes when you are 60 some odd years old, I look at it. My dad's retired. I'm actually leaving my dad's house right now.
Okay.
And when you get to be around that area, about that time, you don't want to be raising kids. You don't really want any. They don't really like cooking.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really like doing none of that stuff. Like my mom and dad is just like all the way just put up. They don't really like headaches. So when you look at Beeline and I look at his age, it takes a toll on you taking L after L after L, and you're dealing with kids, like Colin Sexton, and you're dealing with Garland, and then you have, people who have won championships like Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson being the vocal guys in the locker room, and sometimes you can't handle dealing with all of that, just animosity, and you're trying to get some stuff across, and it's a different culture, and it's just. I think from that standpoint, I think his age and he just doesn't have, at this point in time, not saying that he didn't at one point in time in his life, but the temperament, I just don't think it's there. It's just not a good fit. And I think the second part of the situation is you got guys like Colin Sexton and you got the younger guys. And, when you got guys now, and I played a clip on the show the other day, and Colin Sexton was like, yeah, man, I got to get my legs back up underneath me and, the all-star break. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, Colin Sexton, you're like 14 and a half years old, man. Like, what do you mean you had to get your legs underneath you? You was kind of dead a little bit in the game against Washington. I'm like, how is that even a thing? So you have comments like those, and it just shows you that the coaches in NBA life are very expendable, and I think it boils down to not the right fit.
What does that say about the veteran leadership on that team when you have a young man saying they wanted us to watch too much film, they wanted to work on fundamentals? What does that say about the veteran leadership when you have young guys coming out saying stuff like that?
Well, I mean, what leadership? What are you talking about? Like this? Right. That ain't no leadership. That's we have to. You have to always go back and look at the 2016 season and go back and look at those LeBron teams. Take a look at the way and the positions that Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson were in. Tristan Thompson, all he had to do is come in and rebound and give energy. Kevin Love had problems every time the Cavs played the Warriors. He played horrible. I mean, in those games, you couldn't count on him because he would seem fragile. He would seem like he was easily shaken. He couldn't guard Draymond Green, not because Draymond was that much better of a player to him, but Draymond Green was just an animal. He was a dog. Yep. And Kevin Love didn't really stand up to that type of pressure. So those guys were tertiary, secondary parts to that championship run. And it just goes to show you what kind of leadership, whether you want to tell LeBron that, he was sometimes fickle and wishy-washy, and LeBron used to be cryptic in his tweeting and stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm going to ask you this. Like, who's fared well? Kyrie Irving has not been a leader anywhere else. He's had his troubles trying to become a leader. And then you have Tristan Thompson and Kevin Love, who should, be playing with the Cavs. And the Cavs should be better than the record should be better with the talent that they have on this team, especially when getting Andre Drummond. So I just think there is no leadership.
I've been trying to tell him about Kyrie. I'm like, y'all show me, if you can show me when Kyrie ever had success on this team by himself when he was a man. He was here 4 years before LeBron came back. If you can show me, I'm willing to see it.
No, Kyrie is a prime example of a guy who has max talent, but that talent is just talent. There's some people come with extra gifts and packages and tools. Some people can be clutch. Some people can raise the player of others around them. Some people are great individuals in a locker room. When you're going through 4 or 5 game losing streaks, they keep everybody together so you don't tank the season. And Kyrie is a great player, one of the best ball handlers I've ever seen, one of the best finishers. I mean, he could do everything on the court very well for his size. Shoot three, shoot very high percentage from the free throw line, mid-range game. He has everything you want. But when it comes between the mental aspects of the game and having his heart be in it, and it's me and I need to lead by example in the way I'm speaking, he just doesn't have that.
See? All right, man. Let's switch gears a little bit now. Obviously, Browns in the off season all kind of stuff swirling around number 6. Is Baker the guy for this team, Garrett, or do they need to start thinking a little bit more about maybe moving on to a new quarterback?
Well, I said it, a couple. I was talking to Mary Kay Cabot at Plain Dealer on Saturday, and I asked the same question to her. I said, for me, Baker Mayfield, this is the most pivotal year in his career right now. And the reason why is because they need to start making a decision today or this year about whether they're going to give him max amount of money. And you have to just look no further than, the situation in Dallas. Look at Dak Prescott. Yep. Dak Prescott's a good quarterback, but the number that they're floating around for Dak Prescott is $37.5 million. Right. Now, to put that in perspective, that's the highest paid quarterback in the entire league. Now, and the way it happens is every quarterback that comes up, he wants the biggest contract. And so the way it's trending is when Baker comes up for his deal, you're talking about $40-some-odd million that you paying Baker Mayfield. Yep. And if you're going to allocate that amount of cap space to one position, you got to have a guy that can carry you through some games when you aren't able to upgrade the talent. Maybe you don't have the best receivers in the world. Maybe you don't have a grade A defense and you need to score some points. You're going to need your quarterback, who's a $40 million man, to put your team on your back and win some games that you shouldn't win. And I don't know if that's Baker. I don't know if that's what is in his future. I'm still trying to figure out whether he's a game manager or he's a true franchise quarterback. But one thing's for sure, he can't turn the ball over the way he did. It's been a step in the right direction for him saying that, hey, I did a lot of talking last year. I need to work on my game. I need to do a lot of different other things. But at the end of the day, it's all about talk this year. That was talk. It's all about actions. And those actions are going to be difficult because, once again, his top 2 receivers just went through off-season surgery. So it's going to be a rough one. But I can say that he has the heart and he has the makeup to do it. It's yet to be seen if he can actually get there.
Garrett Bush from the Barbershop at 92.3 The Fan is our guest. So what do you need to see, Garrett? I mean, for this, just not from Baker, for the whole offseason for the Browns, what do you need to see to make you confident going into next season?
Well, I just need to see guys actually going out there and learning the playbook. I need to see guys going out there and getting themselves together and putting the work in off of the field. And what that means is I very rarely got an opportunity or very rarely saw any of the things about Baker Mayfield and Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham getting together with each other after practice, working in each other's cities, whether that be in LA or wherever it's going to be. Yep. Getting together, working on communications, just working on building a solid rapport with one another so that they can get an understanding and build some, build a little credibility with one another so they know when in the heat of battle, I know that you're going to say and do what you say you're going to do. Those are the type of things that we got to see. Last year, we didn't have none of that. For everybody with the Cleveland Browns, in general, I think it comes time to understand that, look, you guys have an opportunity. Talent don't win you no games. Y'all got an opportunity to still be a very talented team in this league. But, the NFL stands for not for long, man. And that window of the Browns winning or getting what, we expected to be the top of the AFC, those positions are not given. They're taken. You got Lamar Jackson, who came out and did his thing, and he's going to be an MVP. You got Patrick Mahomes is now look like he's on the mountaintop. So these are the teams that you're gonna have to go through, and the Bengals are gonna draft Joe Burrow. So you got guys that's out here. You just gonna have to see. We're going to see if you guys got what it takes to match up with the other teams in the league is doing.
All right, let's go to another team in this city that's got drama. All right, so Garrett Bush, you are Chris Antonetti. Are you paying Francisco Lindor, yes or no?
If it was me and I was Antonetti, sure, I'll pay Francisco Lindor.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the problem: neither me or Chris Antonetti don't have the ability to do that. That's on the Dolan.
I think you could make the case. You could make the case of giving him $350 million right now. You could make a strong argument for that. I know what he said to me, and I know that's posturing. I cannot see them giving him a 10-year, $300+ million. I don't see it, Garrett. I don't, and I wish the city would come around to it. I know people are holding out hope. I don't see it.
I knew they weren't going to pay him years ago. This has been going back. This is I always say they've done a masterful job at weaving a narrative and crying broke forever. So the Dolans have said, we can't pay this, we can't pay this, we can't pay this. And, I went through on my show, I do a show every single year during baseball time saying why you shouldn't believe the Dolans and why they have money. Every team is getting $92 million a year for the TV rights. Every team. They get $92 million. We add that in with the local revenue deal that the Cleveland Indians are getting. That's another $40 million right there.
Yep. And
then on top of that, the Cleveland Indians, and they always compare themselves to other teams in the league, but the Cleveland Indians are drawing somewhere between 19,000 a game. They're getting more than the Cleveland Cavaliers in attendance and people coming through those turnstiles. They're getting more than the Browns and the Cavs combined in ticket revenue because they got 82 dates. But they said no one comes to the game. That's not really true. Attendance around it with the Indians, it fluctuates between 16 and 19 every single year if you average it out over the last time, during the time periods that the Dolans have had the team. So if you look at it, you got $160 million that you can spend every year, and your payroll right now is only about 81 or 82 million. If they pay Francisco Lindor 30, it goes up to 110. The Cleveland Indians still make about $70 million a year, even if they pay him.
But they broke though. Okay. All right, man. Look. Now I watched it from the opening. Did you see the fight last night? And what did you think about that fight? I thought Wilder was done from the jump. Did you see the fight, and what did you think about it?
Man, listen. To be totally crazy, I watched the recap of it where they can't really show you all the highlights, but they show you a couple of highlights. And I thought to myself after I saw it, I was like, man, I'm so glad I didn't spend $80 on this.
Man,
like that instant gratification of buying a pay-per-view is so real. But after it's over, it's like, dang, I spent $100 on this. To me, I look at it. To me, I look at it like this, man. When you got Wilder, one of the things that is so difficult for me to do is buy into boxing because I just don't, the draw of the heavyweights. Boxing has a problem where, they got, one or two guys that they position and market to us like, Fury and Wilder, two undefeated guys going in for a rematch. But, back in the day, I distinctly remember multiple people that would fight and was respectable heavyweight.
Yep.
From Mike Tyson, from Lennox Lewis, to George Foreman Michael Moore was still battling.
Yep.
They had multiple heavyweight names in which you can watch some guys and say, okay, well, this is a nice battle too. This is a nice battle too. So now after we saw Fury and we saw Fury and old boy again. Now what do we have to expect?
Yeah, that's it. Except for Wilder Fury 3, and who knows where that's going next.
Right.
You know they're gonna give it 3. The third one is coming.
Man, listen. All I know is I saw from it. He beat the brakes off of that brother last night. Y'all can say what you want. He beat the brakes off of that brother from the jump. So I think Wilder's got to get more technical, man. Add something else because for all you guys that right hand, it's gonna show as sooner or later. And it showed last night.
And I look at it like this. Boxing always has had a problem. If you think instant replay in the NFL is bad, boxing has always had an issue with scorecard judges, decisions, and splits and compute box score. You're like, man, I don't know. It's just for me, for the guy who don't really watch boxing all that much unless it's a really once in a 5-year bout of the two best people in the sport.
Uh-huh.
Like, they be having a whole lot of decisions going ways where I just like, how did y'all watch the same fight I watched?
It don't make sense, man, at all. All right, listen. For the people that might live under rocks or in a basement and don't have a radio, tell the people, man. Tell them where they can find your show.
Yeah, man. You can definitely check out the Barbershop every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. So you can catch me there. So it's a different type atmosphere in the Barbershop. It's not as traditional as the other shows, but check it out to give it a listen. You can listen to that on the radio.com app. You can also rewind my show if you're out and about on Saturday doing something with your wife, your kids. Don't worry about it. You can always rewind that the next day on Sunday. The next day, also during the Browns season, you can catch me doing a Browns pregame show, usually between 11 and 1. I do that show with Anthony Lima. I did it with him last year. And then if you want to check out, I am on YouTube. Check out the Barbershop's YouTube page. On YouTube is GBush9501 on YouTube. Or you can just simply search Garrett Bush Barbershop 92.3. Any of those will pull up the show.
Listen, man, Garrett, man, I'm gonna tell you, man, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming on the show. From K&R interns, man, to one of the hottest shows in Cleveland. Garrett Bush, 92.3 The Fan, every Saturday from 10 to 12. The Barbershop. Check him out, man. Check him out on all platforms. Garrett, man, I appreciate you so much, man. Much love to you.
Hey, no love anytime, brother. Anytime you need me, you know where to find me, man.
You got it, man. Have a good one, man. Take care. We appreciate it, brother.
You too. All right, now.
All right. Garrett Bush from the Barbershop, 92.3 The Fan. Yeah, man. I remember, man, Garrett, me, and interning at WKNR, we went down to that. We had a blast at that remote down in Solar, man. I ain't gonna front. We had a blast.
I wish I would have interned for
we
KNR.
We had a blast at that remote down there. So we went down there, man. We set the prize wheel up, and it was jumping, man. We had it going in there, man. So appreciate you, Garrett, man. Thanks so much. See, they're not gonna pay that man. He's gone, Eli. I know you don't like it. He's gone. They're not paying that.
I gotta have hope.
No,
Well, you are a Cleveland fan, so you guys live on hope.
Why don't you speak in the mic, dear?
You are a Cleveland fan.
All right, there you go.
I mean, you just let me know when Dolan's ever paid somebody $30 million a year. Now
I didn't know. I mean, he broke it down to us. I didn't know they was getting TV revenue from Major League Baseball and their own revenue.
When they say they broke,
crazy.
That's a bunch of bull crap,
don't
man.
you believe it?
Wow.
When they say they broke, when they say
That's a bunch of crap.
You guys don't come to the game, so we don't. Okay.
Yeah, when he said that
All
crap, I was like, "Are you serious right now?"
Just drive through traffic down there during an Indians game.
I'm just saying. All right, man. Look, that's gonna do it for us, man. Garrett came in right at the end. I appreciate that brother so much coming in, man. That's what. Honestly, I'm gonna say this, man. When you have cats like Garrett Bush, cats like Emmett Golden, who even though they've reached a very high level of success in this city, that they still show love and support other cats like ourselves trying to come up and make it, man. That's dope to me, man, and I appreciate that. Garrett, thank you so much. All right, man, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you to Coach Paul Force of the Eastlake North Rangers for coming through. Thank you once again to Garrett Bush. Check him out on the Barbershop, man, every Saturday 10 to 12 on 92.3 The Fan. For Eli Robinson, for Gina, and for Phil Rucker, my name is Kevin Hanley. This is the Choir Brothers Sports Show. Eli, take us out.
All right, the name of the song is called On Site by producer CJ Beats. This is the Choir Brothers Sports Show on One Unit Media Network.
We'll see y'all next Sunday. Peace.
Nice.